Hello, I'm Jerry Fort. Got some leftovers here. Had to eat them up. Had to take them to work. Take it to work. This is mashed potatoes and chicken and gravy. Shredded chicken. Shredded chicken with gravy mixed in it. Really good. So what I like to do is I like to put it. This is a lot of food. If you didn't notice, it's a lot of food. I'm not going to eat it all, but it was either I take it, eat it for lunch now, or it was going to go in the garbage. So I hate to waste food if I don't have to. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take it to work and eat what I can of it. And that's what I did. Putting it on my mashed potatoes. There's so much left over. I'm going to put a little pepper on there. A little black pepper. Gotta stand back away from it. Otherwise I'll be sneezing. Just a little bit of salt, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm careful with my salt these days. Mm-hmm. Very good. We have this house across from us. It's been there for years. I mean, it's a really old house. It's had they added on to it some years back. You can tell it was a real cute little house. They did all little fancy things, like some trim type stuff on the outside, that went kind of like a crown top all the way across the bottom, like they was going to do like an accent underneath, And then they had these fake shutter louver type things on the other side, on the sides of the windows, and it was green and white, and they painted the garage just to match it, and they had a big property. When we first moved into our house, there was a tractor in the yard. They had like 2 lots, and there was a tractor over there, and there was a horse that would graze in the big pasture part of the yard. So one plot was the house, and then some nicely kept grass, and it was fenced in, and then the other lot was a big pasture kind of an area, kind of a yard, kept up nice, kept it mowed and weed eated. Horse was over there. Tractor was an old tractor. I don't even think it ran, but maybe back in the day it did. I know back in the day it did, but since they had it on that property. And like I said, they lived there for the years, before we moved into the house, this house we're in now, my brother-in-law, who passed away a few years back, he lived there. And my mother-in-law lived there for a while with him too. But, so yeah, he passed away. My mother-in-law passed away first, then he passed away later on, and he gave the house to my wife. So, we, with them living there, we, visited them over there all the time and stuff. And, so we'd see that house over there. And, no one lived there at the time. They had moved out, but they kept the yard up still. But later on, the yard started growing up over there. Strangers started appearing over there. People we didn't, recognize. And then later on, some years later, the tractor was towed out. Well, before that, they'd moved cars in there, old cars, back there in the pasture part. The horse was gone. They got rid of it or something. And more cars would appear. Pretty soon that pasture was full of old cars. I mean, beaters, just junk cars. And they'd get parts off of them. But they were constantly towing them in and towing them out. Tow them in, tow them out. And that went on for many years. Later on, some people moved into the place. They weren't there very long. And then they moved out. And then some other people moved in. They were there for a little bit, and then they moved out. And gradually, the property just kept going to pot. The grass would grow up high. The ditch out front, weeds growing up high. It just wasn't, trash all around there. The people that move in there, they would just throw their trash everywhere. Nobody would pick up anything. Hardly got mowed. We never, the way these people were, I didn't feel comfortable approaching them. They didn't bother us, and we didn't bother them, so just kept our distance. It's a shame. I don't like it being that way, but because I like to know my neighbors. But later on, maybe a year or two now, there hasn't been anybody living there. Cars would pull in there once in a while. And then they'd pull out, But every once in a while, the police would stop in there. They'd drive to the back, pull a vehicle out, have a vehicle pulled out of there. And it was just strange, just strange. I never know who owned it. And then More recently, some nicely dressed people started showing up over there, walking the property, taking pictures. And a paper showed up on the window over there. Couldn't read it. I wasn't going to go over there and read it, but later on I found out that the bank finally bought the house and property. And this young couple showed up over there. They were fixing some things on the exterior, taking pictures as they do. And then there one night they stayed there really late, working on windows or something. I don't think it was that night, but it may be in the next night. My wife wakes me up at 2:30 in the morning and tells me the house across the street was set on fire. I was like, what? She, when she had noticed it, she got to take some medicine or something. And she saw lights outside the window. And she looked out there, and there's a fire truck out there. And they had just got done putting out the fire. The whole house was just toasted. Door burned down, windows burned out, ceiling burned, collapsed, the whole roof collapsed in. Someone set it on fire because there was no power. There was no power in the place. There was no water in the place. All the utilities were turned off. So arson was the only thing we could think of that could have been the deal. So and now those people, we didn't know if that young couple had bought it and they would take care of it. They came back after it burned and started mowing and weed eating all around there, picking up stuff, hauling up limbs and all kinds of stuff. So didn't know if maybe they were the ones that bought it. And I don't know if they were planning on fixing up the house. All it needs now is a bulldozer because it's done. So maybe they'll rebuild on the property or pull a big old double wide in there or something. Why somebody would do that right now, no idea. I mean, they could have done it years ago. Why are they doing it now when, it's been sold? Unless somebody was upset that it's sold. I don't know. But just glad that one reason I would be glad for all the rain that we've been getting is that everything was wet. And my neighbors next door said that it burned, that fire they saw it burning and the flames were like really high. They said it was burning really hot, like something had fueled it. So, but yeah, if it was dry, I mean, if we hadn't had any rain in a while, could have set some trees around there. Could have set the trees on fire. Could have done a whole lot more property damage. But anyway, so don't know what's happening with that now. Later, when we find out if this young couple is the ones that bought it, and we see him over there again, we'll go introduce ourselves. I waved at the dude and he waved back, so they seem to be decent people. So make a connection, you know, go ahead and in case they are the ones moving in, want to be friendly. So okay. It's my last day. Going on vacation. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to trying to get some things done outside around my house. But every time so far, past 2 or 3 years, I take a vacation around springtime, which is the best time for me to do it because coming out of the winter months, you still got a little bit of cool weather, and the mosquitoes haven't started like getting really, really populated yet. But now, when this happens, you get all this rain, it just makes them start, you know, getting populated pretty quick. So it ruins it for me. If I'm gonna be outside, otherwise they'll eat me up. I got sweet blood, I guess. Okay. I'm gonna end it here. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe I can make some vids over my vacation. I do want to do some reviews, so don't know how many I'll get to do, but there'll be something, I'm sure, coming out of it.